What up, everybody? It's Dominic D'Angelo of adfreeshows.com, SEScoops.com, and brassringmedia.com. I'm flying solo today. We're going to talk a little bit of what happened on SmackDown, particularly with the Hogan stuff, and then we'll preview Raw, the go-home Raw before SummerSlam. So, some good stuff on tap. And, hey, what's going to go down here with Drew McIntyre exactly? Let's say hi to some folks in the chat, though. Triple E says, what's up? What's up? Dre Owen says, happy Monday. It's another week of daily wrestling shows. Yes. Should be a fun one. Happy SummerSlam week, says 6'9". Oh, Jake, happy after morning Monday. Yes, good to see you all, Jake. Wrestling Old Ed, happy Monday to you all. Just dawned on me that Penta is being left off the SummerSlam card. That's kind of wild. It is kind of wild. It's a good point. Maybe we'll get some developments here tonight on Raw. Damn it, Robert, says Alt Jake. Robert no sells Mondays. Yes, Robert is on assignment, so he won't be back until Thursday, which also, Robert doesn't know this yet, but I realized that I won't be on Thursday. So hopefully we can line up a way to get a guest on, and Robert can do a show on Thursday. I'll be en route literally to SummerSlam. So I will be making the trip over to the New Jersey area to cover SummerSlam for adfreeshows.com. Should be some opportunities to get some interviews, I'm hoping. I will be live at SummerSlam too. So, yes, I'll be on site to cover for you guys. Guitarist 1988. Hello, good morning. Good morning to you. Jeff Henniger, Happy Gilmore 2. MJF and Becky were fine, but Bad Bunny was the breakout star. Interesting. I've yet to watch it. I'm hearing very mixed things. People are understanding, enjoy it because of the nostalgia plus the cameos and stuff like that. I haven't heard that it's actually a good movie, but people enjoy it for what it is. And then some people don't like it. So I love the original Happy Gilmore. I was obsessed with Bob Barker at the time. So Price is Right. Watched it I was obsessed with Bob Barker. And so hold on one second. Bear with me. I'm still here. Still here. All right. You want to see how obsessed I was with Bob Barker? This is how obsessed I was with Bob Barker. Boom. Look at that. I wrote to him when I was 13 years old and told him how big of a fan I was of Bob Barker. And Bob Barker sent me an autograph right there. So there you go. And it looks real. It's definitely real because it's faded a little bit. So thank you, Bob Barker. R.I.P. Big Bob Barker fan. So I liked Happy Gilmore a lot. And so I don't think that movie, from how it sounds, it doesn't sound like the sequel will ruin the original for me. So that should be a good thing. All right. For a minute, I thought Dom Kraft on the floor was trying to blame Razor for it. No, nothing. None of that happened. I just wanted to get my Bob Barker autograph. That was it. Oh, Razor is spayed and neutered. Yes, Wrestling Old Dad. He is. Get this. I went to a Price is Right taping during Barker's last year hosting. Bob was old by then, but you'd never know when the red light came on. That's crazy. My childhood dream was to be on the Price is Right when I turned 18. I just never got the opportunity. But yeah, Bob Barker, the guest host of Raw, best one ever. No doubt about it. Him calling Jericho Happy Boy when Jericho had the serious gimmick going on was hilarious. Undoubtedly the best episode of that era for Raw. My God, Bob Barker was the best. Jeez. Oh, wow. So he lived, that's right. You do live in Phoenix. So it was 2005. Wow, that's crazy. We're all getting up there, Jake. Age is just a number, though. If you tune into RVD, he'll tell you that straight up. That new episode, by the way, go to rvdtv.com. We talk Hulk Hogan, big time. Great stories from Rob and everything. So Wrestling Old Head also. I went to a taping for The Price is Right, but didn't get picked. But my buddies did. It wasn't the Barker era. It was Drew Carey. Listen, I think Drew Carey does a really good job as the host. I think he does. I think different, obviously, from Bob, which is good. You wanted something different. But yeah, I like Drew Carey as those two. He seems very organic, affable, and easy to get along with. So Tony Gong says, awesome pick. Thank you. Yes. Me and Bob hanging out, baby. Can't believe it. Funny story, too. My brother Marcus. We were also obsessed with Young and the Restless, which was on after Price is Right. And my brother wrote to the Eric Braden, who is known as Victor Newman on that show, and got an autograph and then like a cast list or something too. It was really, really interesting. It was a cool thing. He got, yeah. So Marcus still has that as well. All right. Let's talk some wrestling. This is the thing I can't do when Robert's here. Well, okay, we'll talk about this real quick. What's the origins of that Saint Ravioli tea, Dom? I'm intrigued. All right. So Saint Ravioli, this is like a local shout out. I live in Bloomfield, Pittsburgh area neighborhood. Bloomfield is Little Italy of Pittsburgh. It is. It's Pittsburgh's Little Italy. So every August coming up to August 15th, I think through the 17th. It's like 4 days. Little Italy days. So they shut down the whole street, Liberty Avenue, and people walk all up and down. Now, it used to be very, very Italian, like authentic Italian food. There still is some of that there, but it's become very carny, for lack of a better phrase. So you can get freaking funnel cakes and stuff that is not Italian whatsoever down there. But it's an event. What's neat is this ties it into wrestling too. Two things tie this into wrestling. Is on the one side, Pleasure Bar is the name of a establishment in Bloomfield. Sounds like a strip club, but it's like authentic Italian food. Really good place. But George Romero and Tom Savini actually dine there. George Romero has now passed away, but Tom Savini of horror fame plus Bray Wyatt fame. I've seen Tom Savini in Bloomfield, by the way. I'm really going off course. But anyways, they put up a bocce ball court, and they would have celebrity bocce ball there. Well, right before I moved to Bloomfield, they did Bruno Sammartino was a part of the bocce tournament. So how about that? And then I moved to Bloomfield, and around that in that August, I was in Bloomfield there. I was in Bloomfield, but I missed that day of Little Italy days. So Bruno was there. Virgil, the late Virgil, set up a table there the one time, and I was like, what's Virgil doing at Little Italy days? Hopefully you got some good autographs and stuff like that. But it's a good time. Little Italy days is fun. St. Ravioli, though, is an establishment in Bloomfield. They make some really good raviolis. They had this awesome shirt, and I was like, I'm buying it. And I've worn it. This is the shirt I get the most compliments on all the time. It's crazy. So, and it says made in Bloomfield on the back too. All right, let's talk some wrestling. Drew McIntyre went on social media and exclaimed that he is stuck in the UK and he might not get back for SummerSlam. Visa issues or green card. What is it? What do they call it? Or passport? Jesus, man. You can tell I've never traveled outside of the United States before. Trying to see if there's any updates here when it comes to Drew. But okay, yeah, here we go. Here's an update. See, this is from earlier. This is from yesterday, straight from SE Scoops. So the Scottish Warrior revealed he was denied boarding on his return flight due to passport documentation issues. McIntyre has traveled to the UK with only his British passport, but was told he needed his US passport to board his flight back to America. Whoa, I had no idea. See, you tell me that. Like, he needs two passports? That's pretty crazy, right? McIntyre announced that he was denied the chance to board his flight back due to the fact he didn't have his U.S. passport with him, just his UK one. According to PW Insider, WWE sources have confirmed that this is a legitimate issue the company is currently dealing with. The travel complications come at an inconvenient time for the former WWE champion, who maintains ability to schedule with the company. McIntyre holds dual citizenship, United Kingdom and United States, and apparently ran into bureaucratic red tape. So, look, I would think this is going to get sorted out. That just seems pretty wild. Like, he's a public figure. We know who he is. Everybody knows who he is. The fact that like he could miss SummerSlam to do some sort of discrepancy between countries when he's a citizen of both does not make sense. I think things will get resolved. But who knows? Who knows what how the state of the world is right now. All in disarray. Everybody's in disarray. What's going on here? Let's see. Just trying to see. Wrestling One. It says I was just in Pittsburgh 2 weekends ago. I went with the Andy Warhol Museum. I should have hit you up for restaurant. Yeah, absolutely. I could have gave you some good ones. I've never been to the Andy Warhol Museum. Still have yet to go. So I wonder if it's cool. I've lived in Pittsburgh almost 10 years now. It's crazy. And I lived in Philly for 5 years before that. So all over the state of Pennsylvania. Jeff Henninger says this is a work according to The Rock, and he told the UK to hold Drew's passport. I think you're joking. Just move SummerSlam to Wembley Stadium. Problem solved. Yeah, that would be quite the logistics issue. That's for sure. Okay. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I think everything's going to be fine. Not too worried about it. Let's talk about SmackDown. Or at least the one part I want to talk about is the Hulk Hogan Memorial Tribute. We discussed how WWE would handle this on Friday, and they did it in the right manner, 100%. Had everybody stand on stage, which we were curious about, and had Triple H, commemorate Hogan. Cody Rhodes by his side, Joe Briscoe by his side, Brian Blair by his side, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Jimmy Hart, who you really have to feel for, and Sergeant Slaughter as well were some of the names that were there in attendance. And they did the 10-bell salute. They played a beautiful video package for Hogan. So it was really nice. I thought it was handled in a very well manner. Jake also said Triple H doing the voiceover was class. Yeah, I think it added. I think if you were to get like a voice outside of WWE that people recognize, that's cool. But like, it's nice that Triple H was able to do it. So I thought he did a good job too. And yeah, I thought it was a nice tribute. I could imagine them playing the video again tonight on Raw. And it would make sense. Yeah, look, 6ix9ine says rewatch Rock and Hogan at WrestleMania 18. Still one of the best crowds in wrestling. Absolutely. Like Hogan and Rock, man. Yeah, I always get shown, or I always see on X or social media. I just saw it this weekend. If you had to introduce a new fan to wrestling, what match would you show them? I mean, WrestleMania 18, Hogan, Rock, that's up there. It's definitely up there. I think it would to incorporate. Yes, that'd probably be my number one match to show somebody. I guess that might be subjective to the person themselves, because if you know that person, and say if they're more into good characters and story stuff and elements of that coming into play, Hogan and Rock would be the one to show them. I mean, otherwise, like, say if they are into like violence and, a little bit of thing, a good balance of that would be Austin and Brett, WrestleMania 13. Also, I may be biased, but ECW One Night Stand, RVD, and John Cena, those are ones I really always think about, Yes, Wrestling Old Head. Kevin Nash and Eric Bischoff podcast were good watches. Wild that Nash is the only one left in the original NWO. So I sat in on that recording with Nash. And one of the best episodes we've ever done at Click This. You have to check it out. You get very different perspective about a lot of things. Like it's not like it's a tribute to Hogan, but it covers like Nash covers like when he first met Hogan, the development of the NWO. It's a really immersive show. Nash gives his thoughts on everything. He does not hold back. Nash never does. And that's why he's so likable, and what a good episode and great podcast that is. So shout out to Nash, Sean Oliver, Steve Kaufman, and Wesley Burleson too. We're all part of the Click This crew, and shout out to those members too. You guys can always join in on Click This. Cheap plugs here. ClickThisTV.com. If you go there, that's the Patreon. And if you sign up for that, you can join us in the pre-show recordings. And sometimes we stay a little later after the show and chat it up too. And that's a really fun element of the show as well. So, but what charged me up to speak on that was the Bobby Heenan. Wrestling Old Head says Bobby Heenan spoiling Hulk Hogan heel turn is so hilarious. The brain called it, LOL. Yeah, Nash makes a revelation about that on the episode, so check it out. Wrestling Old Head already knows what that is, but that's what a moment in wrestling history. Pivotal moment, huge pivotal moment. So, all right, let's take a look at Raw tonight. Pretty fascinating. I didn't know SmackDown was in Cleveland, and Buddy texted me and was like, "Hey, are you going to SmackDown in Cleveland?" And I had no idea it was in Cleveland. So I probably wouldn't, knowing how the prices are and knowing that I'm going to SummerSlam, I probably wouldn't have gone, even if I did know. But yeah, it's crowd's ready for some stuff happening here. All right, so are we ready for Raw? I guess before we're ready for Raw, we are getting on the road to SummerSlam this week. It's big time. It's big time. 2 days. Crazy to think. Well, if you guys want to have a little extra fun and help out the show in the same turn, and you're just, want to have add a little bit of incentive to when you watch SummerSlam this weekend, try out some MyBookie. That's right. MyBookie is a site where you can bet on some WWE happenings. If you think you trust your instincts, your wrestling acumen, and you want to have some fun and you want put some money to drop down on there, try some MyBookie out, because you can actually do this as a wrestling fan. And there's some odds going on. I'll read them off to you here. We have the Women's World Championship match. Naomi is the heavy favorite to retain her title, minus 1,000. So Rhea Ripley's a very slight underdog, plus 250. Io Sky is the heavy underdog with plus 600. Plus, on top of that, we also have WWE SummerSlam, the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Lyra Valkyria is favored, minus 390, while Becky Lynch is a plus 245. So if you think Becky can snatch that or retain her Intercontinental Championship against Lyra, it's a bet to maybe place. Wow. Okay, so still on is Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul going up against Randy Orton and Jelly Roll. The favors to win, Randy Orton and Jelly Roll, minus 500, while Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul are plus 300. With the other women's championship match, Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton. So, Tiffany Stratton's the champ. Jade Cargill is favored heavily to win here, minus 600 right now. We also have the WWE Undisputed Championship match. It's Cody Rhodes. It's John Cena. Cody Rhodes is favored, minus 300, while John Cena is a plus 200. World Heavyweight Championship match is CM Punk versus Gunther. Gunther is the underdog here, the slight underdog, plus 180, while CM Punk is the favorite at minus 270. Also, we'll have Dom Mysterio and AJ Styles. Wow, this is the neck and neck one here. This is pretty much, what is it called? Not a push, but my goodness. But it's Dom Mysterio minus 130, while AJ Styles is minus 110. Who are you picking for that one? That's it. That's trust your instincts on that one, I guess, huh? Then plus we got the United States Championship match. Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu. This is also a tight one. Solo Sikoa is minus 130, while Jacob Fatu is minus 110. So same exact odds for those. Plus there's plenty more you can check out. Wow, what a list, man. So check it out. But the way to do that is go to mybookie.website/joinwithrumor. Or when you go to MyBookie, you use code rumor and you deposit $100, you get $50 additional. You deposit $200, you get $100 additional. I think the minimum you can place is 45. So if you want to have a little fun this weekend, toss around some money, wager a little bit, add some incentive to you. Go to MyBookie, use promo code Rumor, and have some extra added fun with SummerSlam. So thank you, MyBookie, for becoming a sponsor this week. Cool. All right. So let's see. Let's take a look at this Raw preview. It's happening. Is this? Oh my goodness. Kevin Nash's backyard, Detroit, Michigan, at the Little Caesars Arena. Taking place. Roman Reigns is set to appear. CM Punk is set to appear. Gunther will also be appearing. As far as matches go, we have the World Tag Team Championships. Judgment Day, Finn Balor and JD McDonough. The champions will be defending against the LWO. That's Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde. Yeah, I don't see a reason to. I think this is like Robert said earlier. You know, you need somebody to go up against Judgment Day and kind of keep them going. So I mean, Judgment Day will retain in some form or fashion here. So that's what's going to happen, I think, on that one. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, Stephanie McCoy, and Nikki Bella. So a multi-women tag match here. They're all teaming up to face Naomi, Chelsea Green, Piper Niven, and Alba Fire. It's interesting. You know, you don't see a lot of multi-women/men matches on WWE programming. It's usually tag matches, usually singles matches. So it's funky. You see them all the time in AEW. All the time. There's like several per show. So it's kind of interesting to see WWE just do one here out of nowhere. I like it. You know, it makes it feel important, right? If you're getting multi-person tag matches every week, they don't feel as like special. But here, kind of a little different, doesn't it? Does it feel that way? I like it. Boy, everybody's coming up with finisher names for for Jelly Roll. I like it. Trey Owens says Jelly Roll is going to hit the Jelly Destroyer. Man, could you imagine that? Hit him with the belly roll. I like the belly roll. That's pretty funny. If Jelly Roll and Randy versus Drew and Logan is not a 5 3/4 star match, then Dave Meltzer is completely out of touch. Well, Jeff, the only thing against it is it's not in the Tokyo Dome. So that could be an issue. Belly to Belly by Jelly. I like that. Jelly Belly. I like Jelly Belly. Jelly to Belly. Some different variants here. Jelly Roll getting funky like a monkey. Yeah, it did it. So, yeah. We also have Jey Uso versus Bronson Reed. This is an intriguing one. I'd put Bronson over in this one. Jey Uso's getting to that Teflon stage a little bit. Like, he can take a couple losses, I think. Especially if he's going to win when he teams up with Roman at SummerSlam, which was what seems to happen. Is that even official yet? Did they make that official? Let's see if I'm missing something. I'm checking MyBookie right now for that. MyBookie, where are you? Yeah, so it is. Okay. So it is. Yeah, they're the favorite to win that. Heavy. They're the heavy favorite to win that. So, yeah, definitely give Bronson Reed the win on this one. Keep him hot. Dre Owens says this, too. And I'm not necessarily against that. Bronson should dog walk Jay going into SummerSlam. I'm kind of with you because you can heat Jay back up at SummerSlam. You get Bronson a definitive nearly squash win against Jay, cause a little uncertainty moving into the weekend and see how that goes. So I think that would be a good move. But yeah, should be interesting at Raw. I'm always intrigued to see what CM Punk has to say. And I just like this dynamic between him and Gunther. Two different people, two different styles of when it comes to personality and wrestling and body type, everything like that. So I like this matchup. I'm very excited for that. I'm excited to see kind of what they do with Dom and AJ, especially after Dom just invaded AAA over the weekend. Got the Road Warrior pop. My goodness. Crazy reaction. If you haven't seen that clip, check it out because it is pretty wild. Like, Dom is over. What was also funny is it's over is El Grande Americano, who could be losing with Kaiser. I'm not too certain, but he is over with that Mexican crowd. The funny thing is, social media will have you believe that this whole gimmick, this whole shtick was offensive and is like degrading to the lucha libre / Hispanic culture. Mexico ate it up. Like, they loved it. They loved it. And I guess that being said, I'm just looking here. I believe it. I believe Dom had actual goosebumps. I assume Dom is the odds-on favorite, but I got El Grande Americano to walk away as make a champion. And wow, could you imagine that? Oh wow, Devin, you should probably catch up. You don't have to, but only if you want to. You got to go camping with your wife and stuff, right? Okay, so this is what I'm going to close it out. When Hogan passed away, July 24th, like, I think it's sad. I think it was a sad thing. Individual that people grew up watching, that was flawed, like we all are, passed away. And part of what I had to say was, I was like, be understanding of people online and how they process this. And I think what social media does is some of the worst stuff that you can possibly think of. And not possibly, because it's social media. You can't get hurt by a tweet, physically hurt. Like, so, I mean, there's plenty more worse stuff in the world. But I think it's a litmus test as to the state of mind of people and the problems that they're going through. I think it turns a mirror onto that person. So people who decided to celebrate, or I don't know, like, diminish and harbor this animosity towards Hogan and his passing when he's no longer with us, I think that speaks to the individual and what they decide, what they're going through. I think it's a very ghoulish thing to do when it comes to that. Because number one, like, this guy just passed away. And no matter what you felt about him or anything like that, that's for your values to decide that. However, I think it's very, very mean-spirited, ghoulish, and telling of a person to perpetuate that online when he's got friends, family, and everybody mourning this, and fans. I think, and like, I kind of made a case to, hey, lay low for a while. Mick Foley made the case. Everybody, like Mick Foley made the case that everybody should wait at least 72 hours to do something, to give their thoughts on this. And I'm completely with him. And Mick Foley and Hulk Hogan weren't necessarily best buddies. You know, I just thought it was a real shame that people went to this, that level. And I hope that it causes people to pause and realize, hey, look, the virtue signaling that I'm doing, or me saying what I have to say because I feel this needs to be said about Hogan. There's a time and place for everything, and the time and place has not been it. And shame on everybody that's done that, I think. And so that's my thoughts. Let's see what other people have to say here. Okay. Devin has literally been camping. Wrestling All It says, I did a tribute video on Hulk Hogan. I cut myself off 30 minutes. I could have easily gone over an hour. Right? There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to talk about and a lot to cover on there. Before I forget, I did write about Hogan on my Substack. I have a wrestling writing Substack. I just shared it in the chat with people. Feel free to take a look at it. Give me your thoughts on there. So that's across the board here for on all the channels. Go to wrestlingwriting.substack.com. Check it out. Give me some feedback. I try to cover things, and I also try to be understanding and diplomatic. I mean, I was a kid, Hogan fan. He's the same age as my dad. So him passing away and him being throughout my life, like in the level of being a pro wrestler, what I cover, and then he's the same age as my father. It's a really weird added element to it all. But take a look if you guys want to. Wrestlingwriting.substack.com. That is where you can figure it out. All Jake says, Hulk Hogan is an immortal icon. Terry Bollea was a human being flawed like anyone is. Exactly, all Jake. Old head, yeah, George and I went 20 minutes the day he died, and then last night with AEW full. I don't know how you say it. I get what you mean here. Wrestling went another 30 plus minutes. Wow. Wrestling Gold says 100 Dom. You're getting meta, and I love. That's what I used to bring up to the staff when I was running a restaurant. You don't know what people are going through internally, and their responses are a reflection of issues, trauma, etc., that they aren't addressing. That's the other aspect of it too. These people doing this, and Robert made a great point on Friday. Was it Friday? Thursday, that the reaction that people are putting out there to a lot of this stuff is them being hurt by Hogan comments back in 2015 or when they surfaced, so like everybody is processing, hey, I grew up watching Hogan. He, meant so much to me in certain ways, and in wrestling, even if you didn't like him, he's got to mean in a certain aspect a lot to you because it's wrestling. And if without him, wrestling is not where it is today. Wrestling could be, by all accounts, dead in the water. So Devin Dowling says Hulk Hogan is a lot of people's childhood hero. Terry Bollea is very controversial. Absolutely. Like, that's the thing, that's it. Nash made a very excellent point. I'm a person of faith. Nash said that he thinks Hogan found his faith. And Hogan got baptized like 18 months ago before his passing. So take that for what you will as well. Check out Alt Jake's stuff too. The shows that he's a part of. He's doing the hustle. So be sure to give him a shout out and help him out as well. Okay, so he pronounces it awful. Okay, so dang it. Dom, we have a ton of parallels growing up as a Hogan fan. Yeah. Devin Dowling, your dad's 46. Devin, how old are you? Holy crap. Are you 26? How old are you? If you feel free to tell us that. Geez, so I could almost be your father? Is that what you're saying? That's crazy. I can barely run a cat. This is nuts. Very sorry. Your dad passed at 56. Sorry to hear about yours too. 59. Yes, very sorry about all that. I know it's very tough. Yeah, it's very tough. It's I can empathize on that for sure. Russ Gold said, I thought my dad favored Hulk Hogan as a kid. I was completely off, but at the time, that's how I became enthralled with Hulkamania. Hulk and my dad are the same age. Crazy, right? Crazy. Like, literally, Hogan's only a couple months older than my dad. I think Hogan was born on August 11th. My dad, born on November 10th, 1953. Devin, you're 27. Okay, wow. Boy, yeah, I could not be your dad, but that's wild. That's great, though. That's actually really great. Like, so. Oh, nice. Old Head and Alt Jake teaming up. Sweet. I like it. Share me the link. And I'll tune in when I can. I'm having a busy week with shoot job stuff and then trying to catch up and do socials and everything like that. Wow. No way. Dre Owens' dad was born on November 11th. So my dad born on November 10th. His dad born on November 11th. One more point I wanted to make about that, but I can't remember what it is. Jeez Louise. But yes. So have a little bit of, if you're heavy duty into the social media world of pro wrestling, have a little bit of empathy for people. Even if you highly disagree with them, you don't see eye to eye with them, and you don't like a person. So, dang, look at this. Devin Dowling's birthday was on November 11th, 1997. That's wild. Look at that. Jeez, Wrestling Old Head's daughter, born on November 14th. This is bonkers. The chat is just bonding over birthdays. Wild. Well, I'm glad I could bring everybody together here. I'll do the same thing tomorrow, potentially. You can check us out every Monday through Friday here on Ad Free Shows YouTube channel, on the Rumor and Innuendo YouTube channel, on the Oh You Didn't Know YouTube channel, at SE Scoops X account, at W Creative _ish X account, at the Dominic D'Angelo X account, and wherever you get your podcasts, whether that be Spotify or, I almost said Yahoo, or Apple. So check it out there. Appreciate everybody tuning in here. Check out the new episode of RVD. Go to rvdtv.com. We talk about Hogan a lot. Fun stuff. Rob had a good friendship with Hogan. And so be sure to check that out. Also, Working Stiff Patreon. I'm going to post this right after the show. Robert and Scott go into detail about Hulk Hogan. So if you want more of Robert's thoughts about the passing of Hogan and Scott's thoughts too, it'll be interesting to hear what Scott has to say, considering, he's around my age, but he's also at the same time, he's a big AEW fan too. So the dynamic of how different a Hogan is in comparison to the type of wrestling that he likes, be very interesting to hear what he has to say. So I'll get that posted here right when I'm done posting this. But this is great. Trey Owens, referring to the November birthdays, he says that the moral is February is great for Blue Chew. That's right. Go to use promo code Rumor and get that deal. All Jake Scott has thoughts. Who knew, right? Who knew? Shout out Scott Chaplin. Check out his stuff too. All right, guys. I'll be back tomorrow to talk a little bit of Raw and anything else. So best of luck in your future endeavors. And remember, help support the pet population. Have your pets spayed or neutered. Goodbye, everybody.